Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Legacy Pod.
Yep.
So let's just dive back in. So last episode we got the aardvarks in just their basic enclosure in, and we started getting the buffalo, African buffalo in. So first thing that I need to do is change the work zone here to include this, and I forgot to include those, just so that it doesn't keep alerting us that they can't reach that. And staff room will be fine, other than there are no vendors. I'm gonna get just an extra vendor for there because that makes our most money. So let's get started with getting the African buffalo set. We're gonna go on and change that to glass. What we need to do first, just so that we can, what we're going to do just for now is get a screen and a speaker in place. Once we start getting decorations up, or not decorations, getting it looking better, we may change that, but for now that's what it's going to be. So let's bring you up and see. So I have over double the size that we need, and that's fine. That'll allow for some expansion. And I am sorry about saying a lot. That's just what it is. It's a little bigger. Let's just get short grass a little bit more, and then we'll do what we're going to actually do. We need 40. So what we're going to do is, I don't want to close off the corner. Go down. There we go. And we will get water in. That should be plenty big. Let's just test it and see. Oh yeah, that's plenty. So what we're going to do is put the soil down for the water, and that fixes that. Again, not much in the way of coverage here. So what we're going to do is along the edge, because I forgot we just come back, so we need to fix the biome to grassland. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put in, not the big one, small reed here and here, and actually let's go on Nambachi, and then a couple more reeds there, just to watch, make sure we don't overdo it. Oh, that's a little big. Actually do they need shelter? They do not need shelter. It's great when the animals don't need shelter. And what we're going to do is, if we can find something that they like. Oh, that's a tree. And we're just going to get some more of these plants in, just to liven up the place a little bit. And clump of this. Let's see. I don't know what they like. Do they like this? No. They did. Fucking daisies, they do. So what we're gonna do is up because it won't take all that much and they'll be fine with it. And there we go. Perfect fit. And we can look and make sure that they're all good. They're still good with that. And the only thing they don't have... okay, so the temperature is like I expected. It is a little high. So then they just want enrichment, which unfortunately we do not have, which... reminds me, I did not start one, so let's go on and start African buffalo. If we can't get some. Some enrichment there. What we're going to do be able to hide all of them because we just don't have as much. I mean, I can do, which is what actually happened to that one, put it right underground. That way it can't be seen, but that seems to be a little cheap. And actually, getting a check the temperature of them. So that us do that. Yeah, so I'm still learning the controls. Before it cools off too much, because we don't need to cool it a whole lot. I'm thinking 30 is more than sufficient. We'll have to look because we might have to put in heaters too. I do not want to duplicate it. Okay. So now we can let it cool off. So the only thing that's not cool is down here. That should be fine. Research complete. The aardvarks to be researched, and it doesn't look like, oh no, they did herbicide marker. So let's get one close. And actually I did not put in, I don't know what they require. Okay, so it is the food trough. So we'll put that close so that the guest can look at them. Of course, there's the litter. The litter on their way out. That put in, and I don't have the money for that. So we're going to just have to let it go. I can clean that, and I have to get to 300 guests, which hopefully with the Buffalo Inn like I am close. Buffalo, and we need to get a couple donation boxes in, otherwise the guest won't give us money. And so the rewards do count. If we take the rewards out, still sitting at 2,300 in profit, so that's nice. So now we've just got to see, there's some donations going in. One thing I should go on and get was just an ATM. So since the last video, I've been thinking this is a very long journey, unfortunately. So what I might do is once we get these set, I'm going to just leave that as is. We'll do a food court area here once I get more money and have researched getting some more. But what I want to do is I want to pick you up and get you down here to clean this up. Now that we have the bins, should not be that kind of trash on the floor. So we got the 300 guests. So we'll just have to wait to get more why are you not cleaning? Let's just take you off the work zone. That way you can go anywhere. Waiting for staff room. Of course you are. Let's check the staff room. There are, how many employees do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I'm going to do, it's not really what I want to do, but for now I need another staff room up there, which of course cuts into our profits and money. I'm going to include that and those in this, and June Central. So the only one is him, which should be able to. He just needs to go for a break. So let's see what we got. Wow. Of course, we don't have any. No, African buffalo. Elephants. We don't have enough. Okay. So we've got to see. So the wild dogs could, in theory, go there, but I'm thinking we're going to have to do a split off down here so that we can make sure the guests aren't just walking this long distance. And unfortunately, I think what we're going to have to do is put in possibly, if halfway up here we do what's going to essentially be another biome here, that might be fine. It would at least allow the guest a bit of rest before they make it up. Turtles. Lots of turtles. American bison is also grassland. Arctic wolf. That might not be a bad option to do, because they are tundra, and so this is what I was talking about. I think I actually cut it out, but there are 7 biomes technically listed under the nature, but I've never seen any animal that's just in the taiga. It's usually either tundra or it's tundra and taiga. So that's why I'm only going to focus on the 6 biomes and hope that I'm not mistaken. If it turns out that I am mistaken on that and there are enough animals to do a taiga without duplicating a bunch of them, let me know. But okay, so our income is looking good. However, I mean, we did get 3,500 in rewards, so it's not quite 5,000 in profits, but I think we can work with that. Probably a feeding was going on, but I mean, we're making money. I really don't want to take out a loan. Probably start with the 2,000, but I'm thinking the 20,000. I'm thinking if I can take out that loan, we can use it to get a couple more animals in. So let's get you cleaning. Yes. Get that litter cleaned up. That is the one thing I miss about the old Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon. I could go into basically people mode and I could take and clean up all this litter, get the trash cans cleaned, and then even take care of the animals. So I do miss that, but I think the game itself, talking about Planet Zoo, the game itself is so complex that you couldn't really have those that type of thing in, because it just wouldn't work. Like, you would be bogged down with so much that I want mechanic every 6 years, vet every 3 months, and keeper every month. Same thing over here, mechanic 6 months, vet 3 months, and that. And I do need to call the mechanic here as well. So get those, and I need to rename these. If anyone, I don't know how many people are going to even watch this, but if anyone comes up with a different name for the habitats, because all I do is just name them the animal that's in it. If I put multiple animals in them, I do name it slightly differently, like grasslands or something like that. But that's not really creative. So, yeah, let me know if you come up with anything. Let's get it running. I think the animals are fine except for the enrichment, which actually I just wanted to check because the inspector is coming. So as long as I can get it up a good deal, hopefully the inspection won't be bad. And we've got plenty of toys, so let's see what kind they want. Let's do a scent marker. That gets perfect and gets it perfect. Habitat, terrain. Oh, do they not have enough terrain? Oh, something must have happened with the layout. So let's fix this. Get a little more soil over here. That's good. And they want grass. Just like so. And that should take care of them. It's 97. As high as we can go right now. And of course, she did it before I got that fixed. The question was, oh, she's leaving zoo. Oh, why didn't she? I don't know why she didn't inspect. Oh. That's probably going to reflect more poorly on us. But, okay. So, I do want to get another... I'd like to get another habitat in here. But, with the finances not looking great... So, I mean... We have almost 5,000 in income. So the loan would allow us to still maintain a profit. And it would allow us to potentially get 1 to 2 more animals in. Where if I took out the loan, the 5,000, couldn't get a whole lot done. Decisions. Low on cash, yes. I know we're low on cash. I want to get you researching food shops. Food shops, drink shops, and merchandise. So those are busy, so that's good. Good research complete. I am going to try to keep these episodes to an hour. That's with any time lapses I do. Go out as far as I did with that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first sorry, I'm trying to think. Yeah, we don't have much in there. Buffalo was 5 stars, so that's good. That's not what I wanted. So 4 stars on our first report. And Aardvarks will get 4 stars next time. So I'm trying to figure out, because if we do too much down here, we'll have to get more staff facilities. And that becomes very expensive. But I don't want to spend this entire episode. Ooh, VIP. Oh, it's me. Oh, I can't say hi to myself, so... Wonder... $2. I'm going to do 5 and 4. See if that'll help a little bit. Guest numbers. So get more guest numbers and souvenir profits, which I only have. Oh, I don't have souvenir stand because I didn't put it in. Quicker this research gets done, the better for us. Actually, let me, because I hate that the buffaloes are in here without a male, and I doubt there's any available. Of course not. Let's see. I really don't want to spend conservation credits. But unfortunately, so the cheapest male is 5,000. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to help us at all. So let's see. Arctic wolf. Oh, I don't know what some of the Arctic animals are. Reindeer. Polar bear. Timber wolf, I think it is. Let's just see what we get with that. all we got are, doesn't matter which gender we get. Okay, so let's sort by species. Arctic wolf, we can get a male and female pair. Reindeers and timber wolves, we can only do females. So I'm thinking we're gonna start with the Arctic wolf, and we're going to again do an underground or a sunk in enclosure, just because I do like them. I think they're cool. So we're going to need, I'm just going to speed it up because nothing major is happening. Anything pops up, I should be able to fix it. So even putting the souvenir stand in when I did, we should get that $500 mark, and here we go. Okay, let's go on and research you. So we'll make that at the end of the year, and the guest, without having another exhibit, we're not going to get the guest that we need. So what we're going to do is we are going to put in an Arctic wolf exhibit. Visiting player, yay, 20 conservation credits. We're going to need to really build them up. Really, people? Like I have other stuff that I need to spend money on, other than replacing your stuff. Replacing the bins because you can't behave yourself. Okay, so we are approaching the 38 minutes, which, again, this has not been a very exciting episode with much happening. So what I'm going to do, let me see. Yeah, I think I'm going to, so our profits are doing well because we didn't receive any reward income last year, and we were able to get up to 9,000. So that's good. So since we can get up to 9,000, what I'm going to do is I am going to take this 50,000, lowest amount possible, and we're going to put in Arctic wolves, and if I can get another one such as reindeer, we'll put that in as well. So it wants 2 more species to get that, and to get the guest I'm just going to have to get more animals in. So I'm going to go into a time lapse here, and once I do that, I will work on putting in the Arctic wolves and possibly another animal, if I can find at least a breeding pair. Okay, so for this time lapse, what we're going to do is work on getting 2 habitats in to to start with. They're going to be the tundra region, which is going to be the Arctic wolves and timber wolves. That's what I end up building for. But the goal is to eventually get a third one in as well for the reindeer. Here you can see I'm just looking through to figure out what animals I want to get, but I end up deciding on the Timberwolves and Arctic Wolves to start. But I think I do go on and purchase some reindeer as well. But what I decide to do is sticking with the more rigid pattern. I go on and shape the habitat. I don't keep it rigid like that. Um, I do take and round the corners a little, just so that it's not so square. It's not much, but it's what I start. I am going to go back and put rocks around the edges to hide the edges, but for now, what I do is just work on getting the rough shapes in. But what I wanted to do was, and this is something I saw from mainly Party Elite, but I've seen a couple others do it, is I wanted to do a cave for them. And what I ended up doing was, what I wanted to do with the cave was to start a was to do an underground tunnel for them to or not an underground tunnel for the animals, but for the guests, so that they can see. That's why I went on and got another mechanic so that I could eventually start the um, research for the one-way glass. But here I'm looking for not to collide with ground because I was having trouble with it. Every time I went up, I couldn't get back down to see it. But here is, I go from the opposite end to make it meet. But that at least gets the pathway in. And so then what I do is I go back to finish at the opening. And then I work on putting the barrier in. And I start with the glass, but it will not let me put the glass in. So I switched to the null, which is what I should have started with to begin with. And then after decreasing the size of the barrier, I'm able to put it in. So I finally get the 2 in, and I can't get the small piece in there. So what I do is I end up just bringing it up. And once I get get it all in, I'll divide that piece up and put in, make sure that it's completely closed off so that the guests don't meet the wolves up close. And here we go. I'm trying to select it to put the divide in, but for some reason it won't let me put the divide in with the null. So what I do is I go on and select. Actually, it did let me put it in. After some work, it let me put it in, but then I fix the heights, and I changed that one in so that it wasn't so that the glass wasn't at the top, but that finishes the barrier. Then what I do is I try to extend the opening a little bit, not a whole lot, because it does continue to mess with the underground. But here we go. Make it a little bit taller, a little bit longer, give it a little more room so that we hopefully can have a larger pack. And then what I decided to do is this is where I'm going to make the keepers, and Vets and Mechanic and everyone come in. So what I do is I switch so that this top here is brick, which allows me to close it off. So hopefully they can't escape. Once I get the animals in, I will test it. And again, I have trouble getting the keepers in, but I do eventually manage it and change that to glass because I'm going to have the guests be able to come this way even though they can look on the side as well. But that solves that, at least to start. And then I remember I have not bought the Timberwolves, even though the time hasn't been going for the Arctic Wolves, and I get frustrated because there's no male reindeer, but I do end up getting the Timberwolves, and so then I look to see what else, if there's any other animals I wanted to put in, but unfortunately the snow leopard, which I was mistaken, the snow leopard is the taiga biome, but I'm thinking it's one of the few that are just the taiga. So I'm going to put it in with the tundra. And so I go on and get the wolves put in and unfreeze time so that they can go on and be in and ready. And get the research for the one-way glass started. And here I am looking for the male African buffalo. Finding none, I go back to trying to fix this. So what I do is I change it so that I can get the barrier in, the path put in. And then what I do is I'm going to work on the Timberwolves exhibit or the Arctic Wolves. I don't know if it really matters which side they go on. My guess is they don't. So I work on that, do the same thing, put the square in, round the corners a little bit. And then I work on doing a cave as well so that they can be seen on either side. What I do to make sure the caves line up is I just go from this side and once it's lower, just dig the cave right out there. Makes it a little easier to make sure they line up properly. And then I just work on the cave for just a little bit longer, which for some reason this cave was being a little more difficult. Not sure why, because it was the same height as the other one, but it was a little more difficult. So I smooth that out and go on and smooth a little bit more to make sure they can get in. And then I'm going to work on the barrier, which, if I remember correctly, this was a little more difficult to get in, but I did eventually figure it out. Then we go on and put it around. And then I do the same thing, changing those to windows, or to glass, I should say. This is one where I was having trouble. It would not let me close that gap, would not let me alter the barrier, alter the terrain around it. So what I did was I just made it glass, divided it in half, and took the top part away. And that allowed me, and I did the same on the other side because wouldn't close those gaps. And I didn't think that the wolves would be able to escape, but I didn't want to risk it. And then I had trouble getting the top brick down because it was trying to align with below. And then I get the gate set, and that's about it. I do go on and get that lined with the path and try to work so that I can get a little bit more. But then I realized that the path is not in the center eventually, so I go and fix that. Okay, unfortunately, I did not get as much done building the Tundra as I would have liked, but I'm going to have to call it a session because I'm out of time. But I did get the two exhibits mostly at least created. And in the space that they need to go, I've got to just get the animals in to finish. Which reminds me that I don't have a female Arctic wolf, which I need to have at least the breeding pair. So I look to try to find one, and at first I forget that there's so many that I need to go on and filter it. So I find the Arctic wolves, and luckily they have the female. She's not the best genetics, but I go on and get her so that I can have the breeding pair. Throw her in quarantine, and that pretty much is going to be the end of it. But before I end it, I realized that the the barriers here are not even on both sides. So I worked to quickly fix that, which I had a little bit of difficulty doing. But once I've gotten that fixed, it is time for me to call it a session. But next time, I plan to get the Arctic wolves in, timber wolves in, and then start working on getting some decorations and getting it looking better. But